want to address this question, not so much because I think it's a really important question, but simply because I've been asked it quite a few times. I've been asked this question at least 4 separate times in the last year, and I kind of wonder if it's somehow because of video game culture. People are feeling like they want to press the reset button or go back to a saved game and start over again. And I don't personally think that would even serve that much of a purpose if you were just going to just relive your life over and over again to try and get every single thing right. I think the more important thing to do is to try and learn the lessons from the mistakes you've made in the past and move forward confidently into the future. However, there are a number of things that you can do. First of all, the question, I think, comes from a strange way of looking at the universe, and a very self-centered way of looking at the universe, in which you're thinking that if you change something from the past, that's not going to change a bunch of other things that aren't related to your life at all, which of course it would. If everything that happened to you in the past were to change, then other people's lives would be changed as well. And so it's a kind of a strange thing to even want. However, some people feel really, really obsessed with their past. They did something bad, they hurt somebody, or they made a mistake in the course of their lives, and they'd like to correct. The truth is, it's never too late to correct your path until you're dead. Once you're in the ground, obviously, there's no more, in this incarnation, there's no more progress being made. However, that doesn't mean that you can't, make progress in another life if you want to, or you can just move on and be one with the universe. It's your choice. However, while you're still alive, there are lots of things that you can do to change the sequence of things that happen in the future. The past doesn't exist anymore. The past is a byproduct of our consciousness, that we tend to sort things that way. However, it's not there. It's not a part of anything. No one is aware of the past other than you and whoever else was in the room when that stuff happened. Other than that, it's gone. It's no longer a factor. It's not something you need to concern yourself with. If you hurt somebody or did something bad that involved other people, it's a good idea for you to try and make amends for those things. But rewriting it and reliving it in a new way isn't really going to change anything for you now, because it's gone. It's not there anymore. There's no need to concern yourself with it at all. You biochemically maintain the past within yourself by continually focusing your conscious attention upon it. If you forget about the past, it disappears, other than with whoever it is that you interacted with. I'm sure you can think in your life of an example of a time when you saw someone who you hadn't seen in just years and years and years, and so much had changed about you that when you met that person, you could sense that they were looking at a different person than who you are. They knew of a person who is so fundamentally different from the way that you are now, that you could barely even make that connection with that person. And if they had some sort of bad impression of you and you were strong in your present reality, that person's bad impression of you didn't really mean anything, because it's just something weird from the past. However, if it's someone who is meaningful to you, like a parent or a relationship or some sort of bully who did something really bad to you in the past, and you see them, even if you are feeling good about yourself, very often you can get pulled back into that frame of reference where suddenly you're that person all those years ago who was getting bullied by that person. So all those bad feelings come up. At this time of year, it's a very frequent occurrence that we go and we see our relatives and loved ones, and all of a sudden we become the crappy person we were when we were a teenager, because we're triggered by all the things that we were tortured with when we were young. You don't have to do that. That's not a requirement, but it does happen a lot of times. So if you want to physically change the past, there's really no, I don't know that it would be possible magically. I would say no, but if you want to change your perception of the past, there are a number of different tools that you can use to do so. Right out of the new Hermetics toolbox, there are several that can be used very directly. If you're a confident user of magic, you can just create a talisman, or you can just create an artificial elemental, and just know that the past has been changed. Your inner, because you're only working in your own consciousness, there's literally no magical link that has to be created. You create a talisman confidently that makes the past altered, and the past has been altered for your consciousness. If you do that and you put a strong level of belief into the power of that, and you put a lot of energy into it and a lot of focus into it, the past is changed very quickly. And if you listen to one of my recordings, you can do it in the space of a half an hour. Another thing that you could do with my recordings is utilize them in a slightly alternate way from the way that they're designed. There are a number of ways in which we can approach reconditioning ourselves. One of them is just simply to relive the past experience over and over again and project a more positive energy into it, so that we feel good about it rather than bad about it. And another approach that was utilized by the NLP people is to go back through the timeline and actually seed positive energy into the sequence of your life, even going back before the negative experiences that you have. You begin and you plant a positive role model or some sort of experience into your consciousness, and then you move forward. And you can actually utilize my past life journey. I have one that's related specifically to the new Hermetics, and I also have one that's just a sort of a more hypnotic past life journey. You can utilize a past life journey and just go within the past of your own life and just sort of insert more positive energy into each of those spaces in your life by just utilizing the recording in a slightly alternate way. Another thing that you could do is utilize my talisman recording, which basically has you create a talisman and then do a couple of NLP things with the talisman to launch it, and you could utilize your negative past experience as the talisman, and then the positive experience that you would prefer to have had put behind it, and utilize that swish pattern that's within that recording to create a sort of a talismanic conversion of that past experience into a positive experience. That would be an extremely easy and extremely powerful way of approaching changing the past from inside yourself. The past only exists in yourself. If there's another person involved in the past that you did something that is unforgivable, you're just gonna have to find a new friend. It's that simple. You don't. There's no person who cares about your past except for you and anyone that you damaged. And anyone that you damaged, you're either going to have to ask forgiveness or you're going to have to move to a different experience. Those are really the only choices that you have. And you can utilize some magical forms and mental technologies to recondition yourself to look at the past in a new way. And that is a simple, healthy, sane, and possible approach to changing your past with magic. Please sign up for my mailing list, jasonaugustusnewcomb.com, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Talk to you soon.